everybody, hello IEDEREEN, it's me Keyshaszone from Keyshaszone and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing my labor and delivery story of my baby boy Zayn. I don't know, maybe I put some like captions or things on my thumbnail so you kind of know. It's crazy because it was intense if you think about it, but in the moment it was actually very calm. I don't know. Let me just get into it. First off, I want to say that this is my second pregnancy and my second labor and delivery. My first son came in 2016. His name is Idris. I had him at 38 weeks and 5 days, so he was supposed to be due on November 23rd. I told the doctor that's not going to work because I wanted my first son to be a Scorpio baby, and I had calculated to my best abilities. But Idris did not disappoint. He was born on November the 13th, so I do have my Scorpio baby. Anyways, so again, I had him at 38 weeks, 5 days, so earlier than expected. If I look down, it's because I did write some stuff down, obviously, because it's been 3 months and 12 days, so that's how old he is. He's 3 months and 12 days old today. So yeah, I just had to make sure that I have my little notes here and whatnot. Zayn's due date was September 30th, but everybody kept telling me, you know, this is your second pregnancy. Usually the second time around everything goes faster. So everybody was expecting me to pop like in September, like the beginning of September actually. I also looked like I was ready to pop because he was in the position, he was very low. So yeah, but then my appointment on the 17th of September, I had no dilation at that point. Then the next appointment was the 24th of September. Again, the dilation, the doctor was like, it's barely a centimeter, to be honest, but your cervix is buttery soft. It's like it's ready to rip. You can just rip it with a fingernail. That's how it feels like. And my cervix was pushing more towards my rectum, so like more to the back than my vagina. Okay guys, my apologies, a little bit later in the day, so I hope that the lighting and all that stuff is still good. But anyway, so my last appointment was on my due date itself, the 30th of September. So we had scheduled an ultrasound beforehand, just to make sure that there was enough fluid still in there and that the baby and my body could go into labor when it wanted to. You know, just to make sure everything was okay, basically. And so I arrived and the ultrasound nurse or the ultrasound tech was checking me out, and she said, okay, because you are, you know, like your full term, I want to make sure to get the doctor in here so that the doctor can see it live and not necessarily on still pictures. So I was like, I mean, that makes sense, but obviously I didn't have that before. All my previous ultrasounds, they would just give me pictures and they would forward it to the doctor and we would discuss it afterwards, whatever. So the doctor came back in with the ultrasound tech and they're just going over everything. And then I hear the doctor say to the tech, so tell me what you see. And the tech is like explaining it to her, and the doctor said, yeah, and I fully agree. And then they looked at me and I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to shit myself. But the doctor just said that the baby is, you know, looking good. The heart rate is fine, all that good stuff. But the water is looking a little bit murky at this point, which means that it might be meconium, which basically means that the baby pooped. And so now there's bowel movement in my amniotic fluid. It's okay, but you don't want it to go on for days or weeks or anything like that, because then it can definitely be a problem. And again, I was supposed to be due that day. No real sign of any dilation. She checked me. I was still 1 centimeter. Let me just check. Yes, I was still 1 centimeter dilated at that point. Mind you guys, like the last 5 or 6 weeks, I had been eating dates on the regular. I've been having sex on the regular, walking every night for a good 20-30 minutes around the neighborhood. Well, it's actually like 30 or 40 minutes because I just can walk that fast. Going up and down these stairs numerous times a day, like everything that I could do naturally to just get my body to start reacting, it wasn't working. So the doctor said, the doctor asked me if I was comfortable with being induced on the following Monday, which would have been October the 5th. So I said absolutely. Even though I'm a firm believer of going natural, I was very much done with being pregnant at that point, and I was also a little bit worried, I'm not gonna lie, with the meconium. So they scheduled me to get tested for COVID on Friday in the hospital that I would also deliver the baby in. And that was really quick. It was just like a swab here and a swab there. I was like, I asked the nurse, like, is this what everybody's like going crazy about? She said, no, that's another test. It depends on where you get tested, whether it's in the emergency room or, you know, wherever I was, like at a regular little nursing, not nursing station, but in a regular room. And if it's a rapid test, all that, it depends on the type of testing you get done. So mine was absolutely easy. That night around 11:30, my water breaks. Like everything is normal. I'm just sitting in the bed. It's 11:30 at night and I'm thinking, I don't want to wake up to those dishes. Let me just get up and go do those dishes. So I get up out of the bed. I start literally doing one stroke on the plate, and all of a sudden I hear dripping and I feel, and I'm like, this is not pee. What is happening? Because I did not have that with Idris. I did not have my water break like that. So it was such a weird sensation. And I'm looking down and I'm like, okay, I think my water just broke. So I text Benjamin because I think he was already asleep in bed. I texted him, I said, you need to get up. I think we're going to the hospital. So I just made sure to call my OBGYN because it automatically connects you to the night nurse. So she didn't immediately pick up, so I left a voicemail. And then I got in the shower because I always shower. Always. This is the second time that I'm going to labor, but I just, you know, I shower before going to the hospital because you never know how long you're going to be there. You always want your vagina to be, it's a situation, so just the cleanest that I can present myself to the nurses and the doctor is how I want to present myself. You get what I'm saying? And I was not in any pain. It was like uncomfortable cramping, but I've been having that for weeks here and there. So I was definitely not experiencing like heavy contractions. So I went in the shower, came out the shower, saw that I had a missed call. So I called her back and it was a nurse. So I told her, yep, my water just broke about 10 minutes ago. I do definitely want to emphasize that I'm not experiencing any heavy contractions right now, but this is my second baby. And she said, oh, say less. Second child, you need to go to the hospital right now because it can go really fast. I said, okay. So we grabbed everything. Thank God my auntie was here. She came out to make sure that there was somebody at the house. With Idris, I cannot imagine if she was not here what we would have done. Obviously, because of COVID, only one person was allowed in the room. Now, at that time, actually in my hospital, 2 people were allowed, but you had to be 18 or older. So Idris was not allowed. I was so bummed about that. Obviously, in like an ideal situation, I wouldn't want him in the delivery room, but as soon as I heard that 2 people were allowed, I got really excited because I was like, he can just be in the corner, give him the iPad when I'm pushing like whatever, it's fine, and then he can experience everything afterwards immediately with the new baby. But again, the age limit, and I was just super grateful that auntie was here. So I texted her, I said, I'm in labor and we're leaving to go to the hospital. Benjamin also went upstairs and told her. So yeah, and at the hospital, I was thinking like, this is crazy because we just put Idris to bed like nothing happened. So all of a sudden it's gonna be the next day and he's gonna have a brother. So as soon as I got there, the nurse did say I was clearly ruptured, but I was still 1 to 2 centimeters dilated, so not much. The contractions were just uncomfortable cramping, but being monitored, they could definitely see that it were contractions, but it was like a 1, then it was a 3, then it was a 4, then it was a 1, then it was a 1, then it was a 1. You get what I'm saying? And it was so like spread out, like every 5 minutes, then 3 minutes, then 7 minutes, then 1 minute, then 2 minutes, then 1 minute, then 1 minute. It was very strange. So she also informed me that I did test positive for strep B, which was beforehand. It's a test that you do when you're still going to your doctor's appointments. And so I had to undergo 2 rounds of antibiotics before the baby got there. So they went ahead and, you know, hooked me up to the IV, all that good stuff. They placed me in the room. They said, you know, we agreed together collectively that we were going to let my body do its thing, and if there wasn't any changes, I think by 6 a.m. we were going to go for Pitocin. And so Pitocin is a medication to start or increase the speed of your labor. It will cause your uterus to contract, and so contractions will happen quicker and more painful. I think there's 2 types of medications that you can do. One is definitely the lighter version. Pitocin is really like the stronger version. Mind you, at that point, I was already 40 weeks, 3 days. My baby is full size. Like he's measuring great. So they didn't want him to be in there any longer. And also, remember, there might be meconium going on. So at 5:40 a.m., I was 3 centimeters dilated. At 9:50 a.m., so we did pass that 6 a.m. mark just because I was sleeping and they did not want to wake me up. At 9 a.m., I was about 3.5 centimeters. So mind you, from 6 a.m. until like 10 a.m. almost, barely half a centimeter. So I was pissed. So I told the nurse, I said, no ma'am, no ma'am, we're gonna do Pitocin, right? So they start me on Pitocin, and I definitely have to say with Idris, I did not have any Pitocin or anything like that. As soon as I got to the hospital, I was 6.5 centimeters when they checked me in. When I went to my room, I was 9 centimeters. I told them I'm ready to push. So I pushed. He was out in about 15 to 20 minutes. I did not want an epidural, no gas and air. I wanted to have a natural birth. The ring of fire was a biatch, but I made it happen. In this case, again, I did not want an epidural, not want gas and air. I did have the Pitocin, and I must admit, I felt like my contractions were way heavier with Idris than with Zayn. It might be because at that point I knew what to expect. It still hurts, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say that because of the Pitocin. To me, in my case, my contractions were worse. So again, no pain medication. At 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock they gave me Pitocin. So a little bit later, contractions definitely, like all of a sudden from a 4 and a 5, it went straight to an 8, a 9, a 10, and it was like coming quickly, right? It was like seconds in between, a minute in between. So they checked me again. I was 8 centimeters dilated at that point when I told them I need to push. My body feels like pushing. So they're in the room with me, 3 nurses, 3 amazing nurses, and I do not remember any of their names. I'm so upset with myself about that because they were just godsend. They were so kind, they were so calm. It was amazing and exactly what I needed in the room. The reason that I went with my OBGYN is because she was a black OBGYN. I did have also a white male doctor and other doctors, other OBGYNs. But my reason for going there was because there was a black female OBGYN. This whole nursing staff in the hospital was like female dominated, super kind, a lot of different ethnicities. I just wanted to put that in there because they were amazing. But these 3 nurses were just godsend. So again, I told them that I needed to push. They get on the call. I hear them talking to my doctor. which was the male doctor. My male OBGYN was on call that day. And I hear him say he's about 15 minutes away. And in my mind, I'm thinking, bro, you're not going to make it for this birth, because there's no way that this is going to be 15 minutes, right? So I'm just but I'm not saying anything because I can't speak like that. I'm just in the zone and I'm trying to breathe through everything. All of a sudden I tell them I need to push. I'm pushing something, but I knew it wasn't the baby. It was the weirdest thing ever. So I started pushing, and as soon as it was over, I knew what I did. I had pooped. I did not have this with Idris, but if you do poop during labor, please don't be ashamed of that. First of all, there's a lot going on down there anyway, so this is just like something extra. Second of all, if you do poop, it means that you're pushing correctly. So if this is your first time and you're going through it and you poop and you feel super embarrassed about that, don't be. It means that you're pushing correctly. You're doing the good thing, mama. So you're just, you're doing great. So I felt the poop come out, right? And so I look over at my nurse and I just tell her, I said, I think I pooped. And she's like, no, I don't think you pooped. And I just nodded my head like, you wanna go see? So she went and she's like, oh yeah, you pooped. That's okay, mama, I'll clean you up. And she did, she cleaned me up. And so at that point, I saw them all looking at each other like, we're gonna do this, okay? Because when you poop, it means the baby's coming. You either poop while you're pushing the baby, you poop right before you're pushing the baby. The poop is baby, okay? So I hear one of the nurses, like, I don't want to say frantically, but I hear her calling another doctor. Dr. So-and-so, are you in the hospital? I have a patient. She's going into labor right now. No, I left. I'm on the highway already. So they're like, okay, thanks anyway, bye. Click, another doctor. Doctor, are you in the hospital? We have a patient. She's about to deliver right now. No, I'm not in the hospital. I think he was at his office, wherever that was, because again, these are not my OBGYNs. They're calling different OBGYNs that are also scheduled to be on call that day for their patients. He wasn't there either. So I see them looking at each other again, and they're like, we're gonna deliver this baby without the doctor. I'm not caring about nothing. I'm just like, this baby needs to come out. Whoever's ready to catch it, even if it's Benjamin ready to catch it, I don't care at this point. Somebody's gonna catch this damn baby, period. So I start pushing, but because I want him out so aggressively, I think I want to say, I start pushing like that and literally forget to breathe. So the nurse that just cleaned me up, she was also my day nurse. The other ones were like coming in and out. She tapped me on my leg. She's like, Keysha, I need you to breathe. So all of a sudden I like got out of it. But I felt that with that big push, I did push him all the way to my cervix area, right? So then with the second push, I push real hard, I breathe nice, his whole head comes out in one time. All of a sudden, the nurse is tapping my leg again. She's saying, Keysha, stop, the umbilical cord is around his neck. And I'm just like, okay. In that moment, I was so calm, and I just kept breathing, kept focusing on my breath and on what I could do, what my body could. I cannot do anything about the umbilical cord around his neck at this point. So I couldn't think about that. I love that they said it immediately. Also, obviously my husband is right there, so it's not like they're going to lie to me, not say anything. Also, they're telling me to stop, so there has to be a reason for me to stop pushing. But I love that they just kept it honest with me, said what was going on, but made sure that I was calm because they were calm about it. I see one of the nurses just do like a quick swoop, swoopty. Then they say, go. I pushed one more time, he was out completely. So 3 pushes, that baby was out. It was less than 2 minutes. So even though my whole laboring process was not faster, even though it's typical that it's faster when it's your second, my delivery process was way faster. than with Idris. But he immediately, you know, that cry, he's breathing. So it wasn't that the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck tight, because when he was in my womb, the heart rate did not drop, nothing like that. So it literally happened on its way out that the umbilical cord got wrapped around his neck. The crazy thing, guys, when my husband was born, he was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, but he was in distress. So I do have to say that. My mother-in-law was in the hospital at 34 weeks. They gave birth. She gave birth to Benjamin at 36 weeks. And it's because they had to deliver. His heart rate dropped. He was in distress. He was a purple baby when he came out. But it's crazy that this baby actually looks the most like him as a baby. And he was born in somewhat a similar way. But yeah, it was crazy. After that, they grabbed Zayn, because I did put in my birth plan that I want them to wipe him off before they give them to Benjamin. If you guys know, my husband is Muslim, so it is custom to do a dua as soon as they are born. So that's why the baby goes first to my husband and then it goes to me. The nurse told me that they were not going to deliver the placenta at that point. They were going to wait until the doctor showed up. And I want to say that he showed up like 10-15 minutes later. He came in the room and he's like, "What did you call me for? You guys already did it." And I'm like, man, that was not the point. The point was that you were supposed to be here at a certain time and you did not show up. Okay? So anyways, he was, you know, we laughed about it and whatever, but I'm just very glad that I had 3 nurses that were so calm during everything, but because at the same time, guys, this is not their job. Obviously, they're trained to deliver babies, but they don't expect to deliver babies. It's for the doctor, for the OBGYN, that's their specialty. So I'm, again, so grateful that I had 3 nurses that were calm, collected, helped me through it, were able to get that baby out of me, caught it, and it was just a great teamwork, really. When the doctor was there, I did deliver the placenta, and that actually hurt kind of pushing it out. I think it's also because it was already like 10-15 minutes after giving birth to Zayn, so my body is going back into like a calm mode, and now all of a sudden I'm like pushing again. So I think that's what the problem was there. Other than that, it was a great birth, and I would do it again. After Idris, I was like, After Zayn, I'm like, yeah, I would do it again. I don't want it to be like another 40 weeks and 3 days type of situation. I would love them to do, you know, a little Idris, but baby comes when the baby wants to come. I'm just very blessed to have 2 healthy baby boys, big boys. The crazy thing, guys, they were actually the exact same height and weight as each other. Isn't that crazy? And they really looked like each other the day that they were born, like the same face. It was crazy. And Zayn is 3 months and 12 days today, and he's doing good. He's eating a lot. I think he's going to be bigger than Idris, like more like a little beast, you know what I'm saying? He's been wearing 3-month and 6-month outfits since he was 2 weeks old. Newborn diapers were good for about 3 days, and his newborn clothes, I think 5 days, and then that was a bust. So now, again, with him being almost 4 months in 2 weeks, he's been in outfits for 6 months, 9-month, and 12-month olds. So it's going to be like, we're gonna have to figure out like how to dress him, and I'm very happy that I bought the clothes that I did, because in the end I had to go up a size way faster than I, you know, expected. Okay guys, he literally just woke up, so I just want to show you real quick. I know the lighting is not that good, but this is Zany Wavy. This is my Zany baby. This is my Zany baby. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. He's
Stinking cutie pie. Look at him, he's still so sleepy. Oh, Say hi, people of the internet. Cook.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have not seen the birth vlog of either of my boys, I will make sure to link them in the cards. Idris's birth vlog and labor and delivery story, and then Zayn's birth vlog. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in a new video. Bye. Mwah.